Hello again, High Energy family. Kevin Cosmo here. Student Dr. Cosmo. Student Dr. Kevin. I'm still getting used to the idea of going to medical school. Very excited about it, but I'm also very excited to share some tips on how you can recover from your workouts. I mean, most of us really know how to train hard or how to exhaust ourselves, how to work our muscles to where they hurt. The key is learning how to recover. And really that's the key, is how to recover as fast as possible, as healthfully as possible, so you don't end up with any type of scar tissue or any type of not fully healed tissue. And so you heal up as fast as possible so you can get back to training again, so you can get back to the grind. Well, really to the fun part. And so these are 12 tips so you can recover as fast as possible, and really they've been what have allowed me to maintain my fitness throughout this entire 3-year stint through undergrad, rushing through working and being in university and raising a family. So the first tip you want to do is, number one, get all the water that you need. Getting dehydrated will always work against us. It's gonna slow our time. It'll make it harder to talk. It'll slow down the time for you to recover from your activities, because essentially tissues can't get all the nutrients that they need. Water is essentially part of our delivery system. As well, all the healing processes will depend on water to remove waste products as well from those areas. So make sure you stay hydrated. For athletes, you want to be drinking when you wake up in the morning. If you know you're going to be putting on a lot of activity on a regular basis, when you wake up in the morning, drink some water. Before you eat a meal, drink some water. Normally, we'll get if we're eating a healthy, whole food-based diet, in our fruits and our vegetables, there's water there. We're going to get sufficient water content from our food under normal circumstances, but when we start pushing the athletic endeavors, especially depending on the heat or depending on the weather conditions, we need to be considerate of that and drink enough water. We'd be better off having a little bit more water than coming short on this one. So, number one tip, get enough water. Tip number 2 for athletic recovery is eat sweet fruit after your workout. The number one thing that you burn through when you were doing athletic activity, whether it was pushing iron in the gym or whether it was hitting the cardio on a bike, you still were burning through glucose. You're burning through muscle glycogen, and you want to restore that so then you can put out the same effort the next day or as soon as possible. And there's a key window right after athletic activity, and this tapers going after athletic activity. So about 2 hours after we work out, we can form new muscle glycogen at a faster rate than if we didn't. So that's the time to put in the glucose. That's the time to put in the sweet, simple carbohydrates, the fruit. As well, fruit is hydrating and packed full of vitamins and minerals. Third tip, eat greens. I prefer celery and kale, as well as romaine lettuce, but if you like green leaf I guess I like iceberg and butter lettuce and all the other types of lettuces. I just tend to buy somewhat on cost. And anyway, the main point is eat your greens. Eat your greens so you get your mineral content up, so you make sure you have enough sodium for that sodium-potassium pump so you can keep those muscle contractions going. Eat your greens, eat your greens, eat your greens. There's other reasons besides athletic recovery, but for athletic recovery, eat your greens. And one of the simplest ways to eat those greens is just toss them in the blender. I like to toss some celery, toss some lettuce in with my bananas right after my workout, and there you go. Greens in for part of the day at least. And then every night, have salad. Just make it a routine for your family, for yourself. Have salad every night. It's a part of dinner, salad. Fourth tip. This is something most professional athletes have down pat, and most amateur athletes and the rest of us living in the world don't even think about enough. That is rest. You need to rest. If you want to recover, you need to rest, and particularly rest right after you eat. After you make that big workout meal or have that big smoothie, or really anytime you eat a significant meal, you want to rest. Let the digestion process go on without all the other stuff going on. So not only will you increase your nutrition, but you'll also decrease the amount of time it takes for you to recover and enhance that recovery process. That brings us to tip number 5, which is sleep. Very closely related to rest, but at a greater degree, we need sleep. Again, professional athletes know this. LeBron James talks about getting at least 12 hours a night. We need to sleep. Again, putting out all that energy, workouts don't give us energy. That takes away from the energy that we have. And if we want to increase the amount of capacity we have for energy so that we can work out for longer periods or have what feels like more energy to use during the day, then we need to sleep, and so we can recover after those training bouts. Sleep is highly under talked about and underappreciated in our culture. We wake up to alarm clocks. If you want to get the best athletic recovery, get the most amount of sleep possible. And quite honestly, my best tip for sleep is go to bed earlier. That's the best thing you can do. Start your nighttime routine as early as possible. Trying to sleep in, well, from anyone who has kids, you'll quickly realize that doesn't work out so well. You may have other work responsibilities or other obligations. Maybe you just want to get up early and work out in the morning before everybody else gets up. Then you got to get to bed early. Tip number 6 is make your own sports drinks. Do not rely on the commercial, Gatorades, Powerades, all the different supposed aids really don't assist us nearly as much as we could assist ourselves. So make your own sports drinks. It's easy to do. You can take a little dates and water, make Datorade, blend up some bananas and water, make a simple smoothie to carry along with you. Now really these sports drinks are only needed if you're doing something that's longer of an activity, like maybe 2 hours of activity, some longer endurance activity. If you're going 4 hours or longer, maybe 3 hours or longer, then you might want to consider adding some celery into the mix. You can play around with it. People like different things. My personal favorite for long endurance events is dates and water and celery. Those three, that makes my mix, my sports drink, and it powers me through 10-hour events. And so I know it works, and it works quite well for helping athletic recovery during a long-term event. Tip number 7. I keep doing the hand thing like I'm gonna come up with other fingers. Number 7 is make sure that you monitor your water loss. I remember learning this tip from Dr. Doug Graham, and it was a fantastically intelligent trick. That when you go on a long run, we were training in Costa Rica at the time, up in the high hills, up the mountains, I guess, and extreme heat and extreme training. And we were pouring out buckets of sweat. Well, we were coming back, measuring ourselves on the scale. Well, I should say we measured ourselves before we went out. We knew our baseline weight, and then we'd go out, train, find out, hey, you lost 5 pounds of water. Well, lost 5 pounds, guess what? It was water, and so we would replace that. I would drink water, and then, so I got like maybe 4 pounds of water, and then I would drink or eat my food, which also had water in it, which would also help the hydration process. So monitor your water loss during activity is a fantastically intelligent idea so that you don't become dehydrated. Coming back to tip number 1, don't become dehydrated. So monitor your water loss. Tip number 8 for athletic recovery is going to be eat a diet that matches our nutritional needs as human beings, which is going to be a whole fresh based diet based around fruits and vegetables. The more you eat of raw fruits and vegetables, the better you're going to perform, the better you're going to feel, and the better you're going to recover from those activities. Across the board, eating a diet that matches our physiological needs is going to do us the best we could possibly do. A healthy diet provides all that we need, and all the things that we don't need are absent from it as well. It's all the good with as little as the bad as possible, and that's going to leave us with the best possible recovery. Tip number 9. I'm coming back to it again. Get all the sleep you can. Let yourself sleep in, and if you can, during the day, squeeze in a nap. Naps are fantastic for athletic performance, and they're fantastic for mood performance, health performance. In general, the more we sleep, the better we'll feel, the better we'll perform, and of course, the better we'll heal and recover. So get that sleep in, let yourself sleep, take naps if you can. I'm encouraging you to sleep as much as possible, tossing in as many tips as possible. Tip number 10 is going to be keep it simple at meal times. Reduce the amount of ingredients you have so that you can combine them intelligently. Essentially, the tip is combine your food intelligently. Melons, for instance, don't combine well with a whole lot of other things besides other melons. So eat them alone. So some foods need to be eaten alone, and when you do combine them, try to combine them intelligently. Check out my food combining chart down below, but combine your food wisely so that you get all the nutrition out, because some foods require different digestion environments. Our stomach can only create one digestive environment. For instance, you put in fruit, which requires an alkaline environment and needs only minutes in the stomach, and then you put in, say, nuts or meat or bread or some other thing that requires a more acidic environment and a longer time in the stomach, and these two are going to conflict with each other. You're going to compromise the nutrition. Simultaneously, you're going to produce byproducts that aren't nutrition, that are poisons, acetic acid, alcohol. These things work against our recovery process. Tip number 11 is reduce the amount of meals that you have during the day. Try to eat 2 meals, 3 meals max. Don't be snacking throughout the day. Leave time for digestion to do its thing, and leave time for the other physiological goings-ons to occur, rather than constantly leaving digestion as the main focus for the body. Simplify by reducing the amount of times you have meals. So 2-3 times, that's ideal. Most of the time I'm just trying to stick to 2 meals a day, unless I'm really pushing my athletic activities. Then I'll eat an early breakfast as well. But 2 to 3 meals rather than snacking throughout the day. Eat steady meals. The last tip, number 12, vary the amount of foods you have during the year. Variety will increase the amount of nutrition you're exposed to as well. That variety, if you're eating seasonally, will allow for the most optimal nutrition coming from those foods when they're freshest, eaten in season. So keep variety in your diet, just as it's necessary to keep variety in your sporting life, otherwise you burn out or get injured. Variety is necessary. So apply it to your diet, apply it to your sport, and you'll see you recover much faster as well. So these 12 tips should help you recover at a fantastically optimal rate, as fast as you possibly can recover. These are the tips that have allowed me to thrive and feel fantastic throughout the 3 years, still at an ultra marathon level of endurance and fitness, raising a family, feeling fantastic, made it through undergrad, studied for the MCAT, applied to medical school, got into medical school, running my own business, working a job in town. I keep a lot of things going, spinning a lot of plates, but I know how to recover. I know how to take care of myself, and these 12 tips are essentially how I do it. If you want my help, avoiding burnout or crafting a plan so you can have tons of energy for yourself, for your family, so you can thrive in health, I'd be happy to help you. If you're not interested in getting my direct help with the coaching link down below, be sure to check out the free recipe link down below. There's 30 recipes, some tips on how to live healthfully. It'll get you going right on the right path. If you have any questions, type them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Till next video, live joyously, live compassionately, and keep thriving, family.